right, let's settle this once and for all. It's the daily debate happening in millions of homes and offices around the world. In one corner, you've got that classic cup of coffee. In the other, that shiny can promising an instant jolt. Today, we're putting them head to head in the ultimate showdown. You know that feeling, right? That 3 p.m. slump hits you like a brick wall? Or maybe you've got a huge deadline staring you down? You need a boost, and you need it now. So what do you reach for? It's a choice so many of us make every single day. So let's really dig into what's behind it. So let's meet our contenders. First up, we have coffee. You know it, you love it. It's that aromatic, classic brew that's been part of our culture for, well, centuries. And facing off against it, the modern jolt energy drinks, with their flashy cans and big promises of instant power. Let's see how they really compare. Okay, ding ding, round one. Let's get right to the main event, the caffeine punch. I mean, it's why we're drinking them in the first place, right? But the actual numbers here, they might just surprise you. First up, good old coffee. Now, you might grab an 8-ounce cup thinking it's pretty standard, but whoa, the caffeine content is all over the map. I mean, it depends on everything, the type of bean, how you brew it. You could be getting anywhere from 113 to a whopping 247 milligrams. That's a huge range. Now let's look at the energy drink. In a typical 16-ounce can, and notice that's double the size of the coffee we just looked at, you're getting somewhere between 70 and 240 milligrams. So even though it's twice the volume, the high end of the caffeine is actually pretty similar. And check this out, when you see them all side by side, you can really see that overlap. A strong cup of coffee can have more caffeine than a big energy drink. But the real game changer here, the energy shot. It can pack almost as much caffeine as a strong coffee into just 2.5 ounces. Talk about concentrated power. But here's the catch, and this is a really big one. With coffee, you can kind of make an educated guess about how strong it is. With energy drinks, well, the manufacturers often aren't required to tell you exactly how much caffeine is in there. That makes it way harder to track what you're actually putting into your body. And all that talk about caffeine leads us straight into round two, the heart of the matter. I mean that literally. When you're dealing with stimulants, you've got to talk about the impact on the most important muscle you've got. So let's be clear about one thing. It doesn't matter where it comes from, a lot of caffeine is going to have an effect on your body. It can raise your blood pressure, make your heart beat faster, and even mess with your heart's rhythm. So those high milligram drinks we just saw, they're putting real stress on your system. But here's where the stories for these two drinks really start to diverge. When you look at coffee, there's actually a lot of research suggesting that if you drink it in moderation, it might be good for your heart. For energy drinks, the science is a lot newer, and frankly, a bit more alarming. There are case studies linking them to heart problems, even in young, healthy people. All right, let's dive into round three, and this is where things get really fascinating. Because it's not just about the caffeine. The stuff that's actually in these two drinks, they are worlds apart. Yeah, you see, an energy drink is often this complex cocktail of ingredients. You'll find things like guarana, which is a plant that has its own caffeine, so the total amount of caffeine can be way higher than you think. Then there's usually a ton of added sugar, huge doses of B vitamins, and a bunch of other compounds. This whole mix can create very different effects in your body, and it carries unique risks, especially if you mix it with something like alcohol. Okay, so after 3 rounds, what's the final verdict? Is one a clear winner? Well, the most important takeaway isn't about picking one over the other. It's about realizing that no matter which one you choose, the most important thing is to know your limit. And if there's one number you take away from all this, make it this one, 400 milligrams. Health experts agree that's the max amount of caffeine a healthy adult should have in a day, and that's from all sources combined. And of course, it's super important to note that if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, that number gets cut right in half. The recommended limit is 200 milligrams. And as always, it's a good idea to talk with your doctor to figure out what's best for you personally. So how do you know if you've gone over your own personal limit? Well, your body is pretty good at sending you signals. If your heart is racing, you feel anxious or jittery, you can't sleep, or you get a headache, that's your body telling you to ease up. And when it comes to energy drinks specifically, because of that whole cocktail of ingredients we talked about, the advice is even more direct. To be safe, research suggests you should only have one at a time, and really try not to have more than 2 in a whole day. So after all that, we come back to the big question, which boost is the best one for you? Now you know the deal with the caffeine, the health effects, and all those extra ingredients. The power to choose is in your hands. Because the smartest choice isn't really about coffee versus energy drinks, it's about being informed. So what's going to be in your cup tomorrow?